Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about that finish of NXT. I'm gonna do some NXT Russell talk tonight, man. The main topic of the night is definitely gonna be about Blake Monroe. For somebody to hop on, I'll go ahead and start. We got one person up in the building. Comment below so I know who you are. What up? He hit the like button on the video for me, my guy. Hit the like button. Since you're here, I'll go ahead and start. All right, well, I'm doing some NXT Russell talk tonight. What up? What up? What up? What's going on? All right, y'all. Since y'all here, I'll go ahead and start the topic, man. I want to do some. I want to talk about NXT, man. Talk about the results of NXT. But the main topic of the night is going to be on Blake Monroe. So let me go ahead and get started, man. NXT was decent tonight. It was a pretty good show, especially the finish. Well, Tatum Paxley got it done against Izzy Dane. She retained her title in a steel cage match. Match was pretty solid. Won't that long, but it was a good short steel cage match, whatnot. I will So anyway, the ending of the show, the ending of the show when Taylor Paxley walked out and still the NXT Women's North American champion. Blake Monroe pops up under the floor and snatches Taylor Paxley down to Hell's Pit. That was a pretty good finish. That was a pretty good finish. I like that. So Blake Monroe held the title above her head. She put Taylor Paxley on notice by dragging her down the Hell's Pit and holding her NXT Women's North American title above her head. So let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. Yeah, I agree with that. But anyway, let me go ahead and tell you something, man. Now, I did say I wanted Blake Monroe to dethrone JC Jane for the NXT Women's title. But if Blake Monroe happens to regain the NXT Women's North American title, then I'm all for her being a 2X NXT North American champ. And I'm all for her being a 2X NXT Women's North American champ. I have no issues with that at all. I'm all for it. Then she could still work her way up to the NXT Women's title, as she should. But yeah, man, like I said, the right person won. A lot of people wanted Jada Parker to win this feud. I'm like, nah, man, nah. And don't get me wrong, I like Jada Parker, but I like Blake Monroe way better. Blake Monroe is my NXT. Blake Monroe is my top favorite NXT female wrestler. Don't go against her for nobody in NXT, and definitely won't about to go against her for Jada Parker for sure. So I'm definitely happy Jada Parker won. The right person won that feud. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, you put too many damn comments on my pick, man. It won't that deep. You put too many comments up there. What the hell? Then on top of that, you said I was defending Ricochet. I wasn't defending Ricochet. Anyway, uh, so if Blake Monroe wins back the NXT Women's North American title, I'm all for her being a 2X Women's North American champ. I'm all for it. Don't mind that at all. But yeah. So I don't. But Jada, but yeah, man. So a lot of people wanted Jada Parker to win against Blake Monroe. I was like, man, no, hell no, nah, man. No offense to Jada Parker, but Blake Monroe has better value than Jada Parker a little bit, if I'm being honest. Like Blake Monroe is, I say, is a bigger draw than Jada Parker. I'm not saying anything bad about. I like Jada Parker, I do, but like I said, I like Blake Monroe way better. Once again, Blake Monroe is my top favorite NXT female wrestler. Don't go against her for nobody. And with that being said, Blake Monroe is the standard of NXT. You may disagree with what I just said, but I'm going to say it again because this is my opinion. Blake Monroe is the standard of NXT. She's the best heel in NXT by far. She I mean, this woman right here, man, she's a draw. So I'm all for her becoming the 2X Women's North American champion. I'm all for it. I'm all for that. So I don't know how long this feud is gonna go on, but I'm gonna be fair with Tatum Paxley because I like Tatum Paxley. Give Tatum Paxley a decent run with the NXT Women's North American title if it ain't up to like 100 days. So I'm gonna be fair because I like Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley deserves a decent run as the NXT Women's North American champion if it ain't up to like 100 days. That's how I feel. So her and Blake Monroe can feud to up maybe her and Blake Monroe can actually have a feud and let Blake Monroe get up to 100 days as NXT Women's North American Champion. I know some may disagree with that, but that's cool. That's fine. This is what I'm saying. I'm not asking for anybody else's opinion on what I'm saying. If Blake Monroe is going to win back the NXT Women's North American title, I'm going to be fair enough to say give Tatum Paxley a decent run as the NXT Women's North American Champion. Don't let her title run be a flop. So I'm being fair. I'm being fair. I'm being fair about it. Fair as you can get. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good. All right, yeah, okay, man. All right, cool. No hard feelings. No hard feelings. Thanks. Thanks. So do that. Just like I said, like when the call got screwed up, Del Hill screwed up the match. She screwed up the finish because Black Monroe once supposed that lost the title to Del Hill to begin with. So they can refix this. Like I said, if they was gonna have, I want the way I fantasy booked it in my head would have been perfect. Since Steel Hell accidentally won the NXT Women's North American title by an accident, have her and Blake Monroe to feud, and Blake Monroe wins it back. The feud continue on, and Blake Monroe get up to 100 days as NXT Women's North America champ until Hill wins it back. Blake Monroe moves on into the NXT Women's title picture. That's how fantasy booked that. So this is what they need to do with Blake Monroe and Tatum Paxley. At least let Tatum Paxley get up to 100 days as Women's World Champion. Then Blake Monroe dethrones her for it. I'm only saying this because I like Tatum Paxley. If it was anybody else that I didn't like, I wouldn't give two shits how long that title run was. I would say let Blake Monroe dethrone her for the damn title, probably in a damn second if I didn't like him. But I'm gonna be fair because it's Tatum Paxley, and I like Tatum Paxley. So I'm being fair. Fair as you can get. I like Taylor Paxley, so I'm being fair. Although I like, you know what I'm saying, Blake Monroe better. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but they didn't let it. They let Blake Monroe, they let Thea Hill keep it. So Easy Dame could win it. The way I fantasy booked it would have been a perfect call. And I blamed it on the referee. It wasn't the referee fault. And I had to make a video and apologize. Because it was Thea Hill's fault. Although Thea Hill is my youngest favorite NXT female wrestler, but I couldn't sit up here and not support her title run at all. Although she wanted to soon, but I couldn't do Thea Hill like that. That would have made me a fake fan. That would have made me fake for that. But I did want Blake Monroe to win it back to regain herself. I want her to regain that title, win it back from Thea Hill, and she keep it to 100 days, and Thea Hill wins it back from her. While they feud. They feud. Blake Monroe keeps it up to 100 days. She wins it back from Thea Hill, keep it for 100 days, and Thea Hill wins it back. So I want them to do the same thing with Blake Monroe and Taylor Paxley, being that Blake Monroe has put in Taylor Paxley on notice this early. So I don't think Taylor Paxley should lose the title so soon. And I'm only saying this because I like Taylor Paxley. But if it's anybody else that I dislike and I feel like they're good in the ring, I take that back. I wouldn't say they need to have a short title run if they're pretty good in the ring and they're very good. They craft at what they do. I'm not gonna say they should have a short title run even if I'm not a fan. But like I said, I don't go against Blake Monroe for nobody in NXT. But I'm at least being fair about Taylor Paxley. Yeah, I like Blake Monroe better than Taylor Paxley, but I'm gonna still be fair. You know what I'm saying? Because Taylor Paxley don't need to have a short title run. I can definitely see Blake or Soruka as being champion. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm gonna get into the triple women's triple threat match too. Don't worry, it's coming up. So yeah, man. This time, yeah. So Blake Monroe, she wins the title back, man. Oh yeah, for the new people that see my channel, subscribe to my channel. I see somebody new in here. Subscribe to my channel. What's up? So yeah, man. I want Blake Monroe to have a silent run if she becomes a 2X NXT Women's North America champion, and I'm pretty sure she is. No shenanigans this time. Hell, who's to say Thea Hill might go after Blake Monroe again? If she does, then this time Blake Monroe needs to retain against Thea Hill in a clean match. She don't got to win dirty against Thea Hill. Blake Monroe can beat Thea Hill clean. She can do it. She can do it in a clean fashion. But so yeah, This time, Thea Hill, put her on a monstrous, put her on a dominant title run, put her on a dominant run as the NXT Women's Champion, NXT Women's North American Champion. Okay, so yeah, man, let's so I'm all for Thea Hill winning, becoming a 2X women's. I'm all for Thea Hill coming a 2X women's NXT Women's North American Champion. I'm all for it. I'm all for 2X Blake Monroe as NXT Women's North American Champion. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. I'm all for it. No complaints out of me at all. No complaints out of me at all. Then after Blake Monroe drops the NXT Women's North American title, she needs to be right in the NXT Women's title picture. Because I want her to dethrone Blake Monroe, not Blake Monroe. I want her to dethrone JC Jane for the NXT Women's title. I want Blake Monroe to be the one to dethrone JC Jane for the NXT Women's title. If JC Jane even still has it by then. Because speaking of Fallon Henley, she lost the Speed Women's title. And Fallon Henley is another one of my favorite NXT female wrestlers. So I want to give a huge thank you for Fallon Henley for holding it down for as Speed Women's Champion. So congratulations to Ren Sinclair on becoming the new Speed Women's Champion. I like Ren Sinclair too. Ren Sinclair not one of my favorite female wrestlers, but I do like Ren Sinclair. So once again, congratulations on her becoming the new Speed Women's Champion. And I want to give a huge thank you and a shout out to Fallon Henley for holding it down as the Speed Women's Champion. She had a hell of a run while it lasted. But back to Blake Monroe. Um, yeah, it's time. Let's screw up the mistake that was made. So I'm pretty sure we're probably going to get Blake Monroe versus Steel Hill Part 2. When we do, no shenanigans. Hope this time Steel Hill doesn't fuck up. And this time Blake Monroe needs to be booked to win clean against Steel Hill. So with that being said, definitely all for 2X Blake Monroe. Blake Monroe as 2X Women's Champion. If a wrestler doesn't like to be criticized, the hell out of the wrestling industry. Get the hell out of the wrestling industry. Yeah, exactly. That's the same thing I said to Thea Hill, and she's one of my favorites. I'm like, you can't sit up here going to social media, Thea Hill, having an emotional breakdown, crying because some fans criticized you online and took major blows at you. Every wrestler goes through that shit, male and female wrestlers. You don't see them crying to social media about it. I never seen no female wrestler do what Thea Hill did. So yeah, yeah, man. But you can't just. I mean, fans have said harmful things and sending death threats to Ricochet as well. But I'm not condoning Ricochet for saying what he said. What he said to that troll. He was out of line too. Too, like I said, two wrongs don't make a right. But we can't just drag him because fans be dragging him all day long on Twitter, trolling him, saying harmful things and sending death threats to him and his wife. Samantha Irvin gets it the worst. His wife gets it the worst. So anyway, back to Thea Hill, man. So off of Thea Hill as the off of Thea Hill as 2X. I'm off of Thea Hill as the 2X NXT Women's North American champ. So let's get it. So putting that aside, man, let's talk about Keelani Jordan. No, let's talk about the women's triple threat match. So we still we had the women's triple threat match with Zarya versus Jada, JC Jane versus Saruka for the NXT Women's Championship. I went with Zarya. My pick was Zarya to win. I went with Zarya. I love Zarya. I love Zarya now. So I wanted Zarya to win. But JC Jane retained. She retained. So now, man, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? And I seen the overalls on the game, man. Zarya overall shouldn't have been at no 75, and Saruka overall shouldn't have been at 77. Saruka's overall on 2K16 should have been at least 80 or 81 at the max. Now Zarya overall, just to be honest, although I love Zarya, I like Zarya, but if I'm being honest, her overall should have been at least 78 or 79 at the max. I'm just being honest. And Saruka's overall should have been a little higher. And I only say Zarya's overall should have been at 70 or 89 because she's hasn't won a championship yet. Because you're in the wrong chat, I'm doing Russell talk over here, man. You in the wrong chat. You in the wrong chat, bro. I do Russell talk over here. So you can kindly exit, man. You can kindly exit. I'm doing Russell talk over here. You're in the wrong chat, bro. I didn't say anything about MB. Yes, I do Russell talk over here. Yes, wrestling, wrestling. If you are not a wrestling fan, you in the wrong chat. You can kindly exit. I don't know why he is, but whatever. Oh well. So the triple threat, back to the triple threat match with Zarya versus JC Jane versus Soruka. My favorite wrestler is Cody Rhodes. Okay, to which is on. If you're new to my channel, subscribe to my channel. My favorite wrestler is MVP. Okay. If y'all new to my channel, subscribe to my channel. But anyway, so that was a great triple threat match between Zarya versus JC Jane versus Soruka, but my pick was Zarya to win the title. I wanted Zarya to win the NXT Women's title. Okay, let me block a goofy. So hey, what's up? What's up? New to my channel, subscribe to my channel. I'm not your cousin, but if you're new to my channel, subscribe to my channel. So yeah, man, this was a great back and forth match. You know, Zarya using her power game in the match, and JC Jane using her striking ability, and Saruka, of course, using her speed and agility and athleticism. Wrestling. Where I do wrestle talk. If you're not in a wrestling fan, then you don't have to subscribe. You can if you want. It's up to you. I don't like talking to non-wrestling fans about wrestling because they don't have a clue what I'm talking about. It's up to you. Where do you want to stay? You can stay if you want. What? So don't subscribe, bro. What are you talking about? Who are you? AW. Are you an AW fan? If you are, to each his own, man. You know, everybody, we all got the right to like what we like. All right, bro. Well, if you're new to my channel, Steven, subscribe to my channel. Everybody new on my channel, subscribe to my channel. WWE is where it's at. I wouldn't say that very much because Triple H lack at booking. I wish his bookings get better. Wrestling back in the '80s, wrestling back in the '90s, late '90s down to the early 2000s, mid 2000s were at its peak. I added '80s in there too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. That's now. But it has Steven. Once again, all new people subscribe to my channel. So man, back to this triple threat match, man. Zarya, JC Jane, and Saruka put on the clinic. It was a great match. Power versus striking versus speed and agility and athleticism. It was a great, outstanding contest. All three women did a thing. But at the end, JC Jane came out on top. Yeah, it has, but you basically be saying AEW replacing it all, even its peak. I'd said nothing about AEW first of all. And if you ask me about AEW drop ratings every week. AEW drop ratings every week. I mean, if you like AEW, man, to which is on. I'm not here to shame nobody for what they like. I mean, I only tune in for AEW for the women's wrestling. I'm gonna just keep it all the way hot with you. That's what's up, Steve. You love wrestling. Like I said, man, y'all subscribe to my channel. I love wrestling too. This is why I do wrestle talk over here. You wrestle your demons. What the hell's going on in your life? WWE forever. AEW sucks. Hey, like I said, to each his own, man. I stay out of that WWE and AEW beef. I don't be in that saying, all that AEW, WWE, AEW war shit. I stay out of that. I don't be arguing. It was at one point WCW, yeah. It was. Sting was the reason I started watching WCW. Sting is my number one WCW top favorite wrestler. I didn't go against Sting for nobody in WCW. So yeah, man, this was a back and forth match with Zarya versus JC Jane versus Steel Hill, and at the end, JC Jane retained the title as I predicted. So so I don't know what's next. I don't know, man. It seems like Saruka might be the one to win the NXT Women's title from JC Jane, being that Blake Monroe is going after the NXT Women's North American title. I think Saruka is going to be the one to dethrone JC Jane for the NXT Women's title. That's when Zarya is going to definitely set her eyes on Saruka. And then eventually, Zarya is going to be the one to dethrone Saruka for the NXT Women's title. That's the pattern I see it going in. That's the pattern I see it going in. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's the direction we're leading to. So we're gonna see how it all plays out. But moving forward, um, but I talked about Ren Sinclair winning the Speed Women's title, and I gave a huge shout out to Fallon Henley because she's one of my favorite NXT female wrestlers too. And I gave her a huge thank you when I gave her a huge shout out and a thank you for holding it down as Speed Women's champion. But it ain't the end of the world for Fallon Henley, man. She's gonna be just fine. What's going on, Uber Thanos? Fallon Henley is gonna be just fine. She still got a whole load of time ahead of her. She got a bright future ahead of her. She's already done captured the NXT Women's North American title. Who knows? She's definitely going to be somewhere down the line is going to capture the NXT Women's title. That's for sure. She's definitely going to get it done. I can already picture it. The future looks bright for Fallon Henley. So so let's talk about Kehlani Jordan. Let's talk about Thea Hill and Tatum Paxley backstage. Well, not too long ago, Thea Hill had an emotional breakdown on social media, and bawling her eyes out. She was bawling her eyes out, talking about how the fans, was taking shots at her, bashing her on social media, saying how acting like she's such a terrible human being, and Thea Hill broke down crying and stuff like that, and you know what I'm saying. So I did a video saying she can't be doing it. If you're gonna act like this, you gotta stay on social media, Thea Hill, and just stick to your wrestling career. Best thing you could ever do. So tonight, Thea Hill was backstage with Tatum Paxley when Tatum Paxley was getting ready for her match to defend her NXT Women's North American title against Easy Dame in the steel cage match. So Thea Hill was back there giving Tatum Paxley word of advice, and Tatum Paxley was also giving Phil Hill word of advice, saying that the women's locker room need, people like her, this and that, the third, whoop de whoop. So I already knew, Phil Hill weren't really feeling that. She wasn't really feeling that. They're gonna play it off, but they're not really feeling that deep down inside. So as soon as Tatum Paxley tried to give her some good word of advice to build her up, cheer her up, as soon as Tatum Paxley gave Phil Hill some word of advice to cheer her up, it didn't do any good. Of course, it didn't do any good when Tatum Paxley tried to give Thea Hill some word of advice to build her up. It didn't do any good. So when Tatum Paxley left out the locker room, Thea Hill sat down, looking sad, looking like a sad ass puppy. So Kehlani Jordan came up and she tried to give her some good word of advice. Although Kehlani Jordan's a heel, but she still tried to give Thea Hill some good word of advice. Yeah, she tried to give her some, good word of advice. Tried to give her some good word of advice, and she told her, being the way you are, she told her, she like, it ain't gonna get you nowhere. She said she used to be just like her, which is true. Yes, Kehlani Jordan once upon a time was just like Thea Hill. She was just like Thea Hill. So Kehlani Jordan tried to give Tatum Paxley, try to give Thea Hill some good word of advice. Well, of course, Thea Hill, had to disagree, and then Jada Parker comes back there, running her mouth, sticking her 2 cents in, and no one wasn't even talking to her. Sticks her 2 cents in to try to help uplift Phil Hill. And we know this is not really Kehlani Jordan, but I guess she's a babyface character, so she had to do that. But Kehlani Jordan tried to give, Phil Hill some good word of advice. Phil Hill, disagreed with her. She was talking shit to her. And it didn't help that Jada Parker came back there sticking her her mouth in it, where you know what I'm saying, and no one was talking to her, and she telling Theo Hill to do her and all that, and in all reality, it's not going to get Theo Hill nowhere. Let's just call this spade for spade. But that's okay, because Kehlani Jordan was right. She was trying to school Theo Hill. That mentality you got is only going to get you but so far. Kehlani Jordan tried to tell her, but of course Theo Hill won't going to listen. I knew she wasn't. But don't worry. Eventually, what Kehlani Jordan said to her backstage on NXT tonight is going to resonate with her eventually. And watch what I tell you when Theo Hill finally turns heel. Her Kehlani Jordan might become a tag team. Kehlani Jordan was right. When she was a baby face, yes, she got walked over, stepped on, and didn't get her nowhere. Disrespected. And Jada Park was one of the ones that disrespected her. And she's back then, butting in what Kehlani Jordan was trying to tell Thea Hill. But like I said, Jada Parker is a babyface now, so I get it. But Kehlani Jordan was right. But don't worry, like I said, eventually it all gonna resonate with Thea Hill. It's gonna resonate. She's gonna eventually take Kehlani Jordan's word of advice. She's gonna take it. Kehlani Jordan's word of advice is gonna become beneficial to Thea Hill. Right now, of course, it's not going to resonate with her right now. So next week, they got a match next week. It's going to be Thea Hill versus Kehlani Jordan. Now, Thea Hill and Kehlani Jordan are two of my favorite NXT female wrestlers. Now, who do I like better between the two? I do like Thea Hill better. But like I said, I'm going to be straight up. Kehlani Jordan was right what she tried to tell Thea Hill tonight. Kehlani Jordan was right. She was absolutely right. This this nice girl persona is only going to get Thea Hill so far. But don't worry, eventually later on down the line, it's gonna resonate with Thea Hill. Watch. Because like I said, when Kehlani Jordan finally turned heel, look at Kehlani Jordan now. Better than ever. That promo Kehlani Jordan did that time talking about the fans, man, that's the damn best promo Kehlani Jordan ever did. I watched that promo like 4 or 5 times, no lie. Her promo was that damn good. Kehlani Jordan just so natural and good as a heel. The same way Jada Parker is very natural with her promos and everything, that's how natural Kehlani Jordan is with her heel character and her promos. Like, it's all her. It's not an act. It's all her. And that's why I'm so in like Kehlani Jordan has already been one of my favorite NXT female wrestlers. But when she turned heel, I like her even more because she's just natural. She's so natural with it. She's natural. Promos are natural. And her character is natural. It's all her. She's not pretending to be anything she's not. So like I said, man, Kehlani Jordan was right. And whether Kehlani Jordan win or lose this match, eventually what Kehlani Jordan said to Thea Hill backstage tonight is going to eventually resonate with Thea Hill. It's going to resonate. Because the way she's been getting treated, ran over, stepped on, it's only going to get worse and worse. It's only going to get worse and it's only going to get worse and worse for Theo Hill later on down the line. It's only going to get worse and worse until she finally gets fed up and say fuck it and start doing things Theo Hill way and say fuck the fans just like Kehlani Jordan did. Like I said, it's only going to get worse and worse. It's only going to get worse and worse. And Kehlani Jordan brought up how, well, after it was over and Theo Hill challenged Kehlani Jordan to a match. Kehlani Jordan was backstage doing a promo and talking about how Theo Hill had an emotional breakdown online crying because the fans were taking major blows at her. Kehlani Jordan, see, that's why I like Kehlani Jordan. Kehlani Jordan she really took it there. Like I said, mark my words, this is all gonna resonate with Theo Hill later on down the line. Because like I said, it's only going to get worse and worse. It's only going to get worse and worse. It's going to get worse and worse for Theo Hill. And she's going to eventually say fuck it and turn on the fans and start doing things Theo Hill way. Say fuck the fans. As she should. After what happened to her online, you should have said fuck the fans right then, Theo Hill. These fans are shallow. They don't care about these wrestlers like they try to say they do. They root for them to be champion. They'll be 100% behind them. Then they when they finally get what they've been wanting them to earn and conquer, when they finally get what they want them to earn and conquer, they turn on them. They chew them up like bubble gum and spit them out. When they lose its flavor, when they chew them up like bubble gum, when they lose its flavor, they spit them out and move on to the next wrestler. That's what they do. These fans are shallow. And eventually Thea Hill is going to see for herself. That's why I said what Kehlani Jordan said with her is going to eventually resonate with Thea Hill. And she's going to eventually see what Kehlani Jordan was talking about. She's going to see what Kehlani Jordan was talking about. That's why Kehlani Jordan tried to tell her tonight. But of course she didn't. She won't go listen. And Jada Parker comes back there trying to. She sticks us 2 cents in. So y'all already know what's gonna happen, man. Now I think this might also heat things up between Kehlani Jordan and Jada Parker since Jada Parker stuck her 2 cents in. She stuck her mouth where it didn't belong. So we might be getting a feud between Kehlani Jordan versus Jada Parker, possibly. Because like I said, Jada Parker stuck her mouth where it didn't belong. So Phil Hill versus Kehlani Jordan next week on NXT, and this match is gonna go either way. So either Theo Hill wins, or Kehlani Jordan might win in a dirty fashion. Because the feud between Kehlani Jordan and Lola Vice is over with. It's over with now. So yeah, they do. They do. So that's why I think since Jada Parker stuck her nose where it didn't belong. Since Kehlani Jordan stuck her mouth in what Kehlani Jordan was trying to say to Thea Hill, now I think this is going to lead to a strong heated feud between Jordan and Jada Parker. That's what I think gonna happen. Either that, or we might get a feud with Thea Hill and Kehlani Jordan. So it's gonna go either way. So we're gonna see. But yeah, Jada and Kehlani does got history. So I think that's where the feud is gonna start. I think we're gonna get Kehlani Jordan versus Jada Parker instead in a feud. That's where I think it's gonna go. I think that's what's gonna happen. Because the Blake Monroe and Jada Parker feud is over with also. That's over with too. That was a little fling right there. Cause Jada Parker returned, they get, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, nah, man. Everybody was saying Jada Parker should have won the feud. Nah, hell nah. The right person won. Blake Monroe was supposed to have won. The right person won. Blake Monroe's the standard of NXT. Well, to me anyway. So I think they're gonna build a feud between Kehlani Jordan versus Thea Hill. And I don't know why, for some reason, I think Jada Parker might get involved in Kehlani Jordan and Thea Hill's match. I think Jada Parker is going to get involved in Kehlani Jordan and Thea Hill match. Yeah, I think she's going to get involved, you know what I'm saying, in that match. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna like Kehlani Jordan might try to win dirty. Kehlani Jordan tried to win dirty, and Jada Parker goes out there and she calls Kehlani Jordan the match, and Thea Hill wins. Then you know that pisses off Kehlani Jordan, and she sets her eyes on Jada Parker. She goes after Jada Parker. Now I like Kehlani Jordan and Jada Parker both, but I like Kehlani Jordan better. You know what I'm saying? So their matches are definitely going to go either way. They're going to go their matches are definitely going to go either way. But I want Kehlani Jordan to win the feud, as she should. But I don't know. This feud could go either way. Now, if Kehlani Jordan does lose this feud to Jada Parker, it's not going to hurt her. It's not going to hurt her at all. If Jada Parker wins this feud, I won't trip about it because I do like Jada Parker. I do like Jada Parker. So if she wins, it's not going to hurt Kehlani Jordan at all. It ain't going to hurt Kehlani Jordan. So this feud is going to go either way. So I see Kehlani Jordan and Jada Parker having a strong heated feud. So this is going to be a great match next week with Thea Hill versus Kehlani Jordan. And I'm also see Thea Hill winning, but Kehlani Jordan might win. This match could go either way too. So we gonna see. We gonna see. We gonna see. Fight, but well tonight. Moving on. Booker T gets disrespected. Who was the guy that came out there tonight that tried to attack Booker T? I forgot his name. I forgot this guy's name. Y'all help me out in the comment section. What's this guy's name? Yeah, he's been coming for Booker T for week after week. Canoe Carver. Okay, okay, yeah, Canoe Carver. Yeah, this guy. Don't know what this dude problem with Booker T. He irritates me. Well, anyway, he ruined Booker T appreciation night. So I think the dude that came out there to save Book, I think his name is Jasper, if I'm not mistaken. I think his name Jasper, the big light skinned dude. I think his name Jasper, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, he came to Booker T rescue. He came out there to help Booker T, and he stopped Carver. His name Jasper, right? I want to make sure I'm right. I don't like messing up nobody's name. Jasper Troy. Okay, so I was right. Jasper Troy. Jasper Troy. Okay, so I was right. Well, I got Jasper right, but all right, Jasper Troy. Make sure I keep that in mind. Jasper Troy. Well, Jasper Troy came out there tonight, man, to save Booker T from getting beat down from Canoe Carver. I think Canoe Carver. I think I said his name right. Well, Jasper Troy saved Booker T. But yeah, man, this dude got a problem with Booker T. I remember him from. I remember Canoe Carver from NX from WWE Evolve. This is where he came from. He came from WWE Evolve. This is where I remember him from. So anyway, man, so Booker T better watch out for that guy. Because this guy has been attacking Booker T. He's been coming from Booker T repeatedly, week after week after week after week. I don't know what this guy problem is with Booker T, but he keep coming for Booker T, man. I'm getting tired of him. I'm getting tired of him. Like, what is your issue with this guy? Yeah, he is. You ain't right. He is the NBA version of. He is the NBA version of Uber Femi. He is. Facts. So Jasper Troy, stop Canoe Carver for the night. So they're gonna have a match. Can't wait for that. They're gonna have a match or whatever, whatnot. So, all right, putting that aside, Ricky Saints, um, Ethan Page, and who was they out there with? Oh yeah, Ethan Page and Joe Hendry. They all was out in the ring, and yeah, he do. I'm not into football, basketball, baseball, or hockey, but I know who some of the basketball players, and I heard of NBA YoungBoy. So anyway, tonight we got a segment with Joe Hendry. We got a segment with Joe Hendry, Ethan Page, and Ricky Saints. So we already know what's about to happen. We're getting a triple threat match for that title. Cause not only Ricky Saints wants it, Ethan Page wants it as well. So there's only a matter of time before Ethan Page turns on Ricky Saints or Ricky Saints turns on Ethan Page. It's definitely going to go either way because both of them want the title. They want the belt. So you know when there's a title involved, nobody is nobody friends. Everybody becomes enemies. Even your friends. It don't work out. It don't work out well. So it's definitely gonna clash. It's gonna clash for sure. Now Ricky Saints might come out the new NXT champion. He might. Or Ethan Page could come out on top. Or Joe Hendry could still come out on top and still the NXT champion. So this could possibly go either way. It could go either way for sure. So I don't really know who's gonna win, man. This one is very close. Is very, you know what I'm saying, close. because there's a strong chance Ethan Page could become the new NXT champion, or Ricky Saints could once again regain the NXT championship, or Joe Hendry may still retain. So this one is very close. It's very close. Let me get you out of here. Let me get you out of here. Saying I look like Beetlejuice, but you ain't got no damn profile picture of yourself. Okay. All right. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Um, so yeah, man, I see this one going either way. So yeah. And the thing is, like I said, we got Ricky Saints and Ethan Page acting like they're friends. We got Ethan Page and Ricky Saints acting like they're friends. They're not. So yeah, this triple threat match is going to go either way. It's going to go either way. Just like I said, this one is very close. It's very close. Either like I said, Ethan Page could become the new NXT champion, or Ricky Saints could regain the NXT women's championship, or Joe Hendry could once again retain the NXT championship. So it's a very close call in my book. It's a close call for sure. So we're gonna see how it all plays out. So so what I think is gonna happen is with JC Jane, for some reason, I think Fallon Henley might be the reason why JC Jane lose the NXT Women's title, since she lost the Speed Women's title. I think Fallon Henley might be the reason why JC Jane loses the NXT Women's title. I'm really thinking Fallon Henley might turn on JC Jane. I think she's going to do it because she was pissed off that no one can't, no one's, you know what I'm saying, helped her win, helped her retain the Speed Women's title. So she was definitely, you know what I'm saying, pissed off. Yes, Fallon Henley is one of, yeah, she's very underrated. Fallon Henley is one of my favorite NXT female wrestlers. Yeah, man, Henley, yeah, she's a star. She's a bright, shining star. I see big things happening for Fallon Henley. I'm gonna give it maybe a year. I'm gonna give it a year from now. Fallon Henley is going to capture the NXT Women's title, or possibly she may once again regain the NXT Women's North American title. But part of me more so think that Fallon Henley is going to go up above. She's going to go up above, and she's going to capture the NXT Women's title, and that's the title I read it for her to capture. I read it for Fallon Henley to capture the NXT Women's Championship. Fallon Henley got a bright future ahead of her, man. She got a bright future ahead of her for sure. So I'm definitely, not now, but I'm definitely, like I said, down the line, I'm definitely rooting for Fallon Henley to win the NXT Women's Championship, but not right now because I want Blake Monroe to win it. And that's who needs to win it. But Blake Monroe is going to be going after the NXT Women's North American title. So I'm all for Blake Monroe becoming a 2X Women's North American champion. Then after that, she captured the NXT women's she captured the NXT women's title. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna go on and get up out of here. Thanks everybody for watching my video. Y'all could be anywhere. Y'all could be anywhere else right now, but y'all chose to sit here and watch me, and I appreciate it. So with that being said, I'm gonna go on and get up out of here. It's your boy Hitman D, and I'm gonna sign out.